Hello.
Hello, everyone.
So today we're going to share some of our readings. Would you like to go?
I'll let you go first.
Okay. So today is April 15th. Okay, I'll go with this one actually. It seems to me that I have always been waiting for something better, sometimes to see the best I had snatched from me. That was by Dorothy Reed Mendenhall. Gratitude for what is prepares us for the blessings just around the corner. What is so necessary to understand is that our wait for what's around the corner closes our eyes to the joys of the present moment. We have only the 24 hours ahead of us. In fact, all we can be certain of having is the moment we are presently experiencing, and it is a gift to be enjoyed. There is no better gift just right for us than this moment at this time. We can, each of us, look back on former days, realizing that we learned too late the value of a friend or an experience. Both are now gone. With practice and a commitment to ourselves, we can learn to reap the benefits of today, hour by hour. When we detach from the present and wait for tomorrow or next week, or look to next year, we are stunting our spiritual growth. Life can only bless us now, one breath at a time. I can live in the present if I choose to. Gentle reminders are often necessary, however. I will step into my life today.
Wow.
It can become a habit, one I will never want to break.
True.
Wow.
What a great one.
Yeah. So what would you like to say about the reading today? In your opinion?
I think it's perfect for our day.
Yeah? How do you think it's perfect?
For our day?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The breath of life.
Yes. Yes. Rock and I have been reflecting on life itself and sometimes what we take for granted, when things change suddenly. I like how it says, I will step into my life today. I remember that some time ago you had said those very words. I feel like I just stepped into my life. And I remember at the time I didn't understand what he really meant. I'm like, how can you step into your life? How can you feel like you just stepped into your life? And that was a period of when you felt like a culmination of pain, recovering from ailments, coming out of almost the darkness, and you felt like it was almost like full circle. You said it in front of some loved ones that were closest to you, and it was so powerful, to almost hear you claim that.
Do you remember when that was?
So that was roughly, I believe it was in March. I remember it being your birthday month. Now the year would be, I believe, I think it was 2017. So the year that we got married, the year that we were living with Granny, that was the year that you said that, in March, in your birthday month.
Because we moved here permanently December 2016.
That's right, back to the US. And I remember you saying it in her house when we were living there.
True. However, my belief is that it's 2016.
I was in Australia though.
Well, to check all of our timelines to be sure. I remember
Yeah.
you being there in the cellar. For some reason,
Ah.
I thought it was when I just finished through the phase of having to sleep in the chair,
Yeah.
that recliner one,
Yeah.
then the floor. And I was living there. So we married March of 2017, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So the date is to be confirmed. Even
Well-
the year, huh?
Well, what I'm fluxing about is that you and I have a similar experience.
Yeah.
Yet when we think of the past, it's different.
Yeah.
I mean, we could be different years, yet we hold the same intention. We know the day, the experience, because it was so surreal.
It was.
Right? Such a massive shift.
Yeah.
And you're like, what does that mean? And I said, my life will never be what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And it was true, and I knew it inherently true, yet I didn't know how that looked or what that meant. But I remember talking to Josh and my mom and having feelings.
Yes, I remember that too.
And strong feelings of vulnerability. Not protection, not preservation, more like, this is what I just stepped out of.
Yeah.
And I no longer wish to bring
Mm-hmm.
any of that with me. And I don't have to. And so often I forget that I have a choice.
Yeah.
I forget that.
Me too.
You know, I'll pay attention to things I don't have a choice about. Death, taxes. I don't care the country, you're gonna pay.
Bills.
Right? You're gonna pay. You're gonna pay.
It's
However, what am I paying with?
true.
I, at that time, finally understood it was time. I have a time account, a time bank account,
Okay.
given so many, turns out, half century plus.
Mm-hmm.
So I was granted a long box of time because we don't know what we have when we're born.
Mm-hmm.
The box is already shut. We just don't know when the closing date is. And pain was taking up so much of my life and frustrating me on so many levels. I felt owned by it.
Oh boy, yeah.
My sleep, my waking, my movement,
Yeah.
every movement. Rigid, guarded, afraid. And if I'm going to spend time, I can either be living time or serving time.
Oh, I like that. Living time or serving time.
Living time or serving time.
Wow.
So who's my master if I'm serving? Right? Is it a loving creation? Is it self-destruction? Right?
I gotta write that down. Sometimes he says things that are just so. Living time or serving time?
Right?
It's a good question.
And you and I have gone through different, almost staging levels, right? Climbing up. And each one, no matter how tumultuous or serene, was vital for us to learn each other at that point.
It's true.
Right? Trust takes time. I mean, there's inherent trust that for some reason is like the God box and key. Like you and I were the God box and key. We were perfect. No other key, no other box fit.
Like a lock and key, yeah? Combination that you don't know until you try and it just goes click.
It never goes click.
Oh.
You were the first time in my life it ever went click.
You too.
You know?
You too.
Even our children and our parents are assigned.
That's true.
It's a random shoot in both directions.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
Just a random shoot. Oh. Like that.
And so, and we were talking about my breath today.
Yes. So today we were talking about that.
Yeah, and looking at appointments, which are basically diagnosis, which doesn't change anything.
Medical stuff.
Just a word that people use to understand some causal or grouping of symptoms or beliefs.
But how does one surpass that? Like, how do we, in your opinion, from your experience, come to terms with or cope with medical appointments or pending diagnoses, things that are about to be, like the hammer's about to come down on a certain fact?
That's a
How
good
do
point.
we deal with that? Like the point leading up to that, because I'm sure people are experiencing various things that could be of that nature. You're waiting for a diagnosis, you're waiting for a pending result. What do we do in the waiting room to cope with that period before?
I have to consent, number one.
Mm-hmm.
I forget that with medical.
Mm.
I'll walk into a room or a building of authority, a hospital, an ambulance, a waiting room,
Oh yeah.
right? And suddenly I feel like I'm under the authority of others versus I am sharing the information and knowledge with others.
Okay.
So that makes it scary to approach. What I've discovered is that the medical buildings of what have you, whoever's held within,
Right.
is either a diagnosis or a recommendation, if not both. So I already know quite a bit and adjust quite a bit. I can't get out of life alive, so no matter how good my best is, I only have today. I only have today. What will it do for me and what will it do opposed to me, potentially? What will it do for me? Okay, they'll give me a magical word.
Yes.
And then they'll maybe suggest other tests. So they're just scanning me.
Right.
They're taking photographs inside or out. Blood photographs for panels, x-ray photographs for bones, MRI photographs for tissues, and then the CAT scan for comparative, close up. And all that doesn't change my condition, and I forget that. I think when I go, they're going to help me.
Yeah.
And that help is an illusion. It's me. Where am I at today? It doesn't matter what you offer me. Can I get dressed? Can I get dressed without help?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we go through a lot, and the translation is the trickiest.
Yeah.
Right? So how do I translate all this information? And then the family and friends comes in with a waterfall of advice, suggestions, and facts.
Oh my God, yes.
I listen for experiences. What have you tried? Don't tell me what I should do. Tell me what you've tried and how it worked for you.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I can consent to using the information or not.
Mm.
Now, all of that boiled down is still interpretation of me. It is not me.
Yeah.
It is not me. It's an interpretation of me.
Yes.
So I want to instead bring me to where I can give and take, exchange, share, right? If I get focused on the labels of life, I'll miss my life. He's an angry man. She's a sad girl. He's a, right? We have all these titles, and if I look at my past and project today, I'll never get a chance to do it different. I already know how that worked out.
Yeah, we do.
Right? And even what I know is only a piece of the truth. Right? You and I have had the same marriage, yet we've had vastly different experiences.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't trade it for anything. Not one day would I give up.
Right? Good, bad, ugly, difficult, wonderful, all of it. That's
right?
It had to be.
So if that's true,
yeah,
then every day before we met had to be as well.
Oh, leading up to this, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, when you really think about it, every crossroad that we took this turn, every decision that we went that way, every person that we may have met or had children with, every
yes.
And if you really, I wonder, wouldn't it be interesting? I just thought in terms of a casting, You know how people used to do partners, right? Especially in the queer societies and areas of our community. In Australia, especially, we used to do this thing where you write down everyone you've dated and then who they dated, like a spider web.
Ah, I've done that for STD experience in group.
Oh my God. But imagine
all communities sharing is caring, right?
Imagine doing it for life, though. So really reflecting, like, okay, age 18, I was dating Michael, or this person, Tom. I went with Tom, and then draw. Okay, with Tom, I ended up having my first child. Okay, and then was to draw the whole map.
Yes, however,
how interesting
when you
be?
get done, that person in the first grade who, when you said that thing that hurt their feelings, that made them pay attention to sensitivity, who became a counselor, who later treated your kid.
Oh, cause and effect, huh?
We're all in the web.
Yeah.
We're all in the internet, we're all in the spider web, we're all in the global web, we're all in the web. So I can either live in my section of the web and branch out along the web and experience the beauty of the whole web, all four senses, all four houses, casting all the time, never stopping. Then I have lived. Because all I have is today, like you said. This is it. I can't wake up tomorrow and I can't wake up yesterday.
No.
Because every time I wake up, it's today. And I run the clock. Stronger than most. I've lived most of the clock.
He lives in all hours of the clock, too.
Right? For years. This isn't like a week or two fluke. However, I have been gathering precious moments in each breath. Your laughter, a flower, the kids being kids, a place we've been, right? And each one is a snapshot. It's a picture.
Yeah.
So that book that's unfolding with all the photographs alone is just moments witnessed. Moments witnessed.
How beautiful is that?
So in today, I invite you to go somewhere we've never been, do something we've never done, and see something we've never seen.
Wow.
Let's make these breaths today worth it.
That's right.
What if the bank is where it is? We all don't know when we cash out. We don't. So please don't live in fear of future anything, or test result anything, or word anything, right? We're here, we're together. Oh my God, don't we have everything?
That is so true, isn't it? We do. Yeah.
I sure do love you.
I love you. Thank you for sharing that and your interpretation of that. Thank you all for joining us. As always, and
powerful.
It was a powerful midweek contemplation.
I like that.
On Wednesday. Have a good Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye.